Okay, and this is exactly what I'm talking about. All right, fags. I'm gonna talk to you about pistol suppressors. For one, I've got the SWR Octane 45 suppressor here as an example, and the 9mm end cap. Okay, please to fucking just please stay away from 1/2 by 28mm threads if you're gonna use a freaking pistol with a booster on it, because the shoulder of your piston is going to butt up against this edge here, and that's the only thing that's going to keep your suppressor concentric. Okay, if it comes loose a little bit, then you're going to get, whoa, you might get baffle strikes. Hello shit nuki. Okay, with most all of the metric threaded pitched barrels. Okay, this is a HKUSP 45. It's I think it's M16.5 left hand thread pitch metric. You're going to have this naked spot on the barrel right here. And what that does is there's a O-ring inside your suppressor, and that O-ring is kind of blurry because I'm real close to the camera, will engage on that naked spot of your barrel. And what that does is as you thread it on, you keep threading it, and then it gets kind of like some resistance, and then you keep threading it on. Well, that O-ring is engaging at that point on that naked spot, and then when you finally torque it down, then it buds up to the shoulder, and that O-ring is around here. And what that's going to do is it's going to keep your gases that are forcing the bullet down the barrel through the suppressor baffles from escaping between the threads of your barrel and the threads of your piston on your suppressor, and it's going to keep it concentric to the barrel and keep it from walking off of your barrel in general as you're shooting it. In my experience, 1/2 by 28mm threads on a threaded barrel for a pistol that uses blowback, okay, and uses the Browning action, you're going to have to keep making sure, keep torquing it down, be OCD. Fortunately, I've had OCD good enough to make sure that I was able to keep my suppressor always threaded tight to my barrel in the HAPA 28. But I've realized after years of playing with different suppressors and silencers and what have you, and talking to some other people that are in the manufacturing sector, it's not favorable to get a HAPA 28 thread pitch for a pistol for a boosted suppressor. Okay? Do yourself a favor and just please, Lord Jesus, only go with the metric thread pitched barrels. You're going to save yourself a lot of time, a lot of money, probably a lot of headache. Now, I'm not saying that you can't run a uh, um, suppressor on a host with a half by 28 thread pitch. It's possible. It works. It's just, why would you want the lowest common denominator of a setup when you can have something that you know that you can trust? Okay. That being said, that's just pretty much what I wanted to rant about. On a side note, a lot of people, especially, I'm not going to name too many manufacturers or distributors that told me this, and I kind of completely found it to be bullshit. Is that this is the Octane 45 can. Well, some of these distributors go, oh, we don't carry the 9mm end cap for that because that's a 45 can. Only Silencer Shop does, by the way. And there's not enough of a sound reduction difference between the end cap of the 9 and the end cap of the 45. Let me tell you something. When you shoot 9mm through a 45 can with a 9mm end cap, okay, especially this setup, it makes a world of difference. I didn't spend almost $1,000 including the damn ATF tax stamp and the 9-month wait, for a pistol suppressor not to get the maximum amount of suppression out of my setup. So if there's any humanly possible way that I can get that can to be more quieter on my pistol, especially when I'm shooting 9mm through a 45 can, I'm going to do it. The reason why I bought a suppressor in general was to suppress. So it makes sense to suppress your gun and get the most performance out of your gun. Do yourself a favor. If you've got a 45 octane, buy the 9mm end cap for it. You're going to notice a big difference, especially when you shoot high quality 147 grain subsonic 9mm And when you run that thing wet, holy shit. It's getting better sound performance than the dedicated 9mm suppressor. You can go on Silencer Shop's YouTube videos and check them shooting the 9mm end cap on the full size version of this with 9mm, and it just blows the 9mm one out of water. The dedicated 9mm can. So I pretty much rambled on long enough, and that's pretty much all I wanted to say to you guys getting into suppressors. Do yourself a favor. Stay away from the HEPA 28. Go with metric. Good to go. See you bitches later.